What up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Zuma, aka Fabian. I am a transgender and I post videos about the pros and the cons that I'm encountering during my transition. Today, we're going to talk specifically about FTM testosterone health because a lot of the times we kind of just focus on their physical changes. We focus on what just trying to pass and about us just trying to feel comfortable with ourselves that we tend to forget to read in between the lines, and that's the health factors about being an FTM. There's a lot of risks that come along with this great stuff that testosterone does, our dose of manhood, that we take and that we will have to take for the rest of our lives, right? We forget that it comes with some complications. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about right now. This video will be slightly long. I am sorry, but it is for educational purposes because I do believe that we need to be very educated on these risks. That way we are able to minimize the risks and maximize the benefits of us being on testosterone. So this is all educational. I have my notes right here because I have done a lot of research. I'm gonna share my labs that my lab results that my doctor did for me, and I hope that I'm also gonna share the. I'll be honest. I'll share my mistakes that I've had and the complications I'm going through now because I've taken for granted testosterone. I don't want you guys to be in the same shoes. If some of you guys have experienced some complications as well, please comment below. Now, I'm not saying that testosterone is bad. Testosterone does a lot of great stuff for us, but again, let's not get off track with reality. And even though our soul is a male, our male soul is trapped in a female body. So it will have complications when it's starting to change into the opposite sex. So I hope this is helpful for you guys because one of the main three things that you're going to see is that number one, the higher level of testosterone. That's the most obvious thing, right, guys? And that's what we want. We want to have higher level of testosterone. Men level of testosterone usually is between 270 to 1070 nanograms per deciliters. Now that is important for us to know, guys. Testosterone level on most adult male kind of ranges on the 600s technically. Okay. For women, it's between 15 to 70 nanograms per deciliters. Now, keep that in mind that men and women both create testosterone, right? Men create a lot more testosterone levels in their testicles. Women create it in their ovaries in lower levels. And they both play a very important factor in our health. Men could have high level of testosterone because it is responsible for the male characteristics, right? In the deep voice, the facial hair, the body mass, the way your body looks. What makes a man look like a man on the outside is the higher level of testosterone. That is the main, that's the responsibility of it, right? And if a woman has a higher level of testosterone, it will also start looking like that. Like that's what we are. We're starting to look more like men. Why? Because our level of testosterone is starting to increase. However, it doesn't have any risk for men to be at level 600, right? The 600s level of testosterone. If a woman gets into that high amount of testosterone, you have risks of having high blood sugar, cholesterol, thyroid problems, infertility, lack of menstruation, which for a lot of us is great news, right? um, but you could also have higher risk of becoming obese. or having a polycystic ovary syndrome, which is a condition that affects hormone levels, which could cause diabetes and heart disease. Sometimes we forget that. We get so stuck into the physical changes that we forget our risks in between that. Um, it's extremely important that we stay healthy to avoid these risks, or at least to lower the risk of having cholesterol, diabetes, um, complications with obesity and stuff like that, right? So that's why it's extremely important that we try to stay active to get the best of testosterone. Right now, for myself, my levels before I started my transition were 28 nanograms per deciliters. I was kind of in between. It was pretty normal for, I guess, a normal female, because like I said before, for normal females it's between 15 to 70. I was at 28. For males it's between 270 to 1070, with an average to be, for an average adulthood would be on the 600s for men. Right now I'm at 330. Well, that was the last time I tested myself, and that was December 17th of 2019. Those are my levels right now. My doctor does say that their goal is to try to have us at a level of a regular cis male, which is in the average of the 600s, like we said. Um, I'm at 330, so I'm getting there, right? But I've had some complications because I've taken for granted uh, the testosterone that I've been taking, and we're gonna talk about that later. Just bear with me, guys. So at the end of the video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the complications that I encountered because I haven't taken care of myself. So that's the number one most obvious important thing for us as FTMs, right? It's a testosterone level. Number two, and I can't pronounce this word, so I'm sorry. Uh, it spells estradiol. Estradiol. No, no. I'm gonna pronounce it like that. Estradiol. Now, estradiol is produced in the ovaries. Now, that's a form of hormone estrogen. Now, that form of hormone, estradiol, it excuse me, my bad. It helps the growth and development of the female sex organs. Now, which is the uterus, the fallopian tubes, the vagina, and the breasts. Um, that's the purpose of that. It also controls the way the fat is being distributed in the female body. It is the primary sex hormone of childbearing in women. It is important and responsible for female characteristics and sexual functioning, as well as bone health. So if men also have it, the normal levels of estradiol in women is between 15 to 350 kilograms uh, per milliliters. So between 15 to 350. Obviously, it's a lot higher for us because it's what creates basically the female organs and everything. For men, it's a lot lower. It's only between 20 to 30 kilograms per milliliters. However, if we have a lower estradiol, and again, that's the form of hormone which is responsible for the development of female sex organ, right? If we have a lower level of it, then that could lead to premenopause, ovarian failure, mood swings, hot flashes, fatigue, irregular or no periods, breast tenderness, depression, trouble concentrating, um, all of that stuff. If we have lower levels, then It could create tumor in your ovaries, hyperthyroidism problems, and other complications. This is important to know because as we take testosterone, our level of estradiol also changes, giving us these risks. So if we're not taking care of ourselves, then obviously we're gonna come across some complications. My levels right now, before I started, again, before I started on April 24th, I got tested on April 19th. That's when I got tested. My levels of estradiol were at 25 kilograms per milliliters. The normal is between 15 to 350. I was at 25, so I guess that's okay. For men, the normal levels is between 20 and 30. Now, right now, I'm at 33, so I guess I'm kind of in the level of males, um, which is normal for males, and that's the changes that I'm getting now. But again, I'm still kind of okay because for a woman, it's also between 15 to 350. But I'm also having some complications in between because of these changes, right? So it's important that we take care of ourselves, guys. Um, so that's the number two thing that will change when you are on your transition. Now, third thing, and it's a little more complicated to explain, guys. So bear with me, okay? I'm gonna try my best. Don't judge me, by the way. Don't judge me. Okay, the hemoglobin and the hematocrit. Can't pronounce this. It spells Hematocrit. Hematocrit. I don't know, but I'll tell you guys what it means, right? Hemoglobin or HGB. HGB is short for hemoglobin. HCT is short for hematocrit or hematocrit. Can't pronounce it, but hematocrit. HCT is short for hematocrit, and HGB is short for hemoglobin. So I guess we're just gonna keep the short initials, okay? HGB. It's very important that we know what this means, though. HGB is a protein contained in the red blood cells that is responsible to distribute it's responsible for the delivery of oxygen to the body and our organs and the lungs and everything. Okay. So again, HGB is a protein contained in the red blood cells that is responsible for the delivery of oxygen to the body. It's also responsible for the color red to the red blood cells. Fun fact. So now, why is that very important? That is extremely important because we need to have a certain level as females, and male has a different level. And when you're in testosterone, it starts shifting your levels. This is what's important because when it shifts those levels, it creates risks. The normal level for HGB in women, biological women, is between 12 to 15.5 grams per deciliters. Anything lower than 12, right, usually means that you might have anemia or iron deficiency. Anything higher than 15.5 or 16, again, it might vary depending on age and everything like that, but an average for an adult cis woman, right? Anything higher than 15.5, that means you could have easy bruising or bleeding. You could have a risk of having a blood clot, which can lead to a heart attack or a stroke, bone or joint pain, fatigue, dizziness, abdominal pain, or itchy after shower or bath. Pretty interesting, but that's what it says. The reason why we say that that's important, it's because again, the levels between a male and a female are different. For a man, the normal levels is 13.5 to 17.5. and the risks are all pretty much the same between a man and a woman if they have lower or higher HGB levels than what they should. Now, HTC, which is a word that I can't pronounce that well, head crate, something like that. HTC, now that's the measure of the volume or percentage of red blood cells in the blood. So HGB, it's a protein, right, contained in the red blood cells that's responsible for the delivery of the oxygen into the body. And the HTC is what measures the volume percentage of the red blood cells in the blood. So all of these two together kind of measure your blood count basically. And for women, the percentage of the volume percentage of the red blood cells in the blood should be between 38% to 46%. For men, it's between 42% to 54%. It's a lot higher. And our levels do go up as well when you're in testosterone, because again it's starting to change kind of like a male, right? So since our levels are going up, we could have the higher risk of being dehydrated, having chronic sleep apnea, and all the other complications of joint pain and stuff like that we've gone over before. So I hope this kind of helps you understand a little bit how it is important to know this stuff that sometimes we don't really take time to research before we start transitioning. Not that it's important to do it so we can consider whether we want to transition or not. It's just so we know how to get the best of testosterone before we start transitioning, or if you already started like myself, how to get the best moving forward so we can live a long, healthy life and lower the risk of these complications that I just mentioned. Because the three main things is that my levels of HGB right now, it went up. So before it used to be at 13.4. Remember, the normal levels are between 12 to 15.5. I was at 13.4. Now I'm at 15.4. So I'm almost about to be pretty much high, which means that I have higher levels of having bone and joint pain, fatigue, dizziness, and all this stuff, which I'm pretty much have been experiencing a lot of joint pain and problems. Um, and then the measure of the volume percentage of the red blood cells in the blood. My percentage should be, a regular cis woman should be between where is it, 38 to 46%. Men is 42 to 54. I'm at 48, so I'm higher than what I should be. Meaning that again, I'm coming across easy risks of having complications. So what are the complications that I came across, guys? Um, I got diagnosed with thyroid problems and high cholesterol, pre-diabetic problems. I'm obviously dealing with a lot of depression and stuff that with all of this stuff going on. Um, I've gained weight aside of muscle mass. I've also have obesity problems, short breath problems, but that's because I didn't take care of myself. I was extremely concerned on just the physical part of my changes rather than my health. I noticed that my eating habits, had changed. I was eating a lot more. So what was I doing? Eating a lot of junk. Um, drinking. If I wanted to drink, I would drink more beer because for some reason I could handle liquor a lot better than before. Everybody's different. These are just my personal experience. So I started drinking more. It's just a lot of things, man. So now that I have these issues, I have to make sure I take care of them because my goal is to stay healthy. And my goal is to help you guys stay healthy to get the best of it. How do you get the best out of this? It's actually pretty simple. It's stay active. Um, Cardio is always good for your body to get rid of bad toxins and bad things that your body holds, right? Eat a healthy meal. I saw in a documentary once that a doctor said that if you want, how do you know if you have a healthy meal? Look at your plate. If it's not colorful, then it's lacking nutrients. Make it colorful. Vegetables, greens, everything. Colorful means that it's healthier. It's nutrients. Good healthy, right? Obviously. Broccoli, greens, right? Carrots. There's a bunch of good stuff, guys, that we could take. So stay healthy, stay active, and stay hydrated because water is actually very important for your organs and your whole body. It helps distribute oxygen into your body. So if you want to help your organs work properly, your body needs water to be able to work, to breathe. You know what I mean? So if you now know that we have higher risk of being dehydrated, make sure we always stay hydrated, stay healthy, and stay active. So if you guys want to get the best of testosterone, live a long, healthy life, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 years on testosterone, being the person that you want to be. Help your body, fit your mind, fit your body, fit your soul. Try to keep your stress level low. Read a book, write, draw, make videos. I don't know, whatever helps you guys out. Walk your dog, go boxing, play some soccer, man. Whatever you want to do, stay active, stay healthy, stay cool. I hope this video was good for you guys. If you guys have any questions, comment below. Any comments, anything you want to share with me, comment below. And subscribe if you haven't done it yet, because I will see you next time. Peace.